Hello friends, I'm Larry with Rides Done Right, and this is Journey to Track Days. Hello! Yeah. Boy, that was nice.
His car was already built by Strictly Street Rods. He got wiped out in the 4-lane stop.
I can have the most talented guy in there, but if he's not jiving with the rest of the crew, it's just a bad.
Drives the truck, he drives the car, he flies the plane. Do you get paid 3 times?
No.
This show, top 5 in America.
You are on track with an instructor at every time. Hi, Patrizio. Great. I got you with Dave. So you and Pete, JP are going to be working together with Dave, and Rebecca and Kent will be working with Jacob, and I'm going to be working with Larry when we're on track. So I'll introduce you to him when he gets here, but that's who you're going out with. I was just telling them it's kind of a one-size-fits-all school. I tried to do a shotgun approach and give you all the information. So this is going to be beginning to intermediate level stuff. It's actually a lot of things. I take a lot of information from Ken Hill, if you know who he is, in his podcast. I take a lot of stuff from Ken, and Ken teaches riders of all levels, so it applies to everybody. So, I was telling them we're going to be in the classroom for about 35-40 minutes, and then we're on track for 20. Usually after the track session is over, you're going to want to debrief with your instructor for a few minutes. That's fine. Just try and get back here 5 to 7 minutes after the session ends, and we'll get started and go with that. We have a session in the classroom here at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and 11 o'clock. Like I said, we have a classroom break from noon to 1. We're back in the classroom at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and 3 o'clock, and then at 4 o'clock there's also a classroom break. So we have 3 classroom sessions, 7 track sessions. So you have one more, that last hour from 4 to 5, you'll have it on track with your instructor, but not with me in the classroom. So I'm going to touch on the order of the sport. Those of you that listen to Ken Hill, he has podcasts for free. I think he's up to 47 podcasts you can listen to. And Ken is the top rider coach in the country, and he talks about this thing called the order of the sport. He wants to develop a language and glossary and terms that we can all communicate the same language, because what he's found in years of working in this sport is that there's so many people, you can say something to me, and I'm like, man, I don't know what you're saying, and yet we're communicating the same thing, but your language and my language is either somewhat different, the word we're using is different. So he's communicating that. So in the process of this, he's come up with the order of the sport and what areas we want to address first and what matters first. And one of the first things we're going to address is bike position, or bike placement, and bike direction. Okay? And what that talks about is one thing to be at the apex, but if you can imagine this corner of the board is the apex, if my bike direction is this, I'm at the apex. If my bike direction is this, the apex, or this, the apex. You can have different orientation at the apex even though you're close to the apex. So let's say this is a 90-degree corner, we want to probably have a bike apex there. It's not only important to be at the apex, it's important to have bike direction at the apex. And we're
Sorry, do you have double or single apex cones like that?
single apex cone today. Yep. It's a good question. Ken uses 2 apex cones because this whole direction thing. You imagine if you weren't using 2 today, but she's asking in a lot of the other events, I put 2 cones out. You want to be parallel to an imaginary line drawn between, that way you're at the apex and you have bike direction. So there's only 1 cone out there today, so if you have questions, ask me. We have track maps so we can talk about it. So,
And it's the entry cone then? So
no, it's the actual apex cone. There are some cones on the outside which are entry cones. They're kind of for cars. Use them lightly. But the apex cone is right.
okay, I didn't notice it. So there is a cone right on the apex.
Right on the apex, a standing up cone, bright orange cone, you can't miss it. So bike placement, bike direction is first, yes?
So there are some cones on the outside?
Yeah, they're exit cones, is what they are. So when you come through an apex, your eyes should be up looking, you should be kind of pointed at the exit cone.
The outside cone are there for something, they're not there for us.
They're there for us,
Okay,
yes.
that's good.
They're there for us.
I want
What I'm saying is oftentimes there's ones on entry on the outside, and those are sometimes for cars. I don't like sometimes when they put the entry cones I like their exit cones. I like their apex cones. So
today we apex and exit.
Exit, yes, those are the visual ones we'll look at. So the second thing in order of the sport is vision and focus. And that's where I will talk a lot on those points. That's what your on-track instructor is going to deal with you a lot on. I can talk about philosophy of bike placement, bike direction, but Dave and Jacob are going to be the guys, the eyes and ears, and say, hey, whoa, we got to get you tight here. So they're going to work on that a lot. Point 2, vision and focus. The first 2 sessions of this class are going to deal with vision and focus. Different topics, but the point they're talking on is vision and focus. The third thing we're going to talk on that is motor controls, okay? And that's not the motor on your bike, that's how are you communicating with your bike? How are you working the throttle? How are you working the brake levers? How are you moving on the bike? Those kind of things are motor controls. Again, that's something your on-track instructor can see and address in real time, so they're going to deal with that one. The fourth thing is braking. Our third session of the day, we have a very in-depth and technical discussion on braking. They're going to work with you on track, on the application of it. I'm going to work in here with you guys on theory and how we're doing it, okay? The braking is key. It's one of the biggest things we can really teach you to improve your riding, as we see that brakes are something most people don't really understand what they're used for and how to use them properly. Point 5 in the order of the sport is tip in point and tip in rate. Where you tip in is one thing, and how fast you tip in is another thing. So on a longer corner, you're going to have an earlier tip in but a slower rate. On a really right-handed sharp corner, you're going to have a later tip in but a quicker rate. And a general idea. So those are the kind of things that we can talk about in here a little bit, but mainly that tip in point and tip in rate is going to be something for your on-track instructor to address. And lastly, the last thing is body position, and then also body timing. What position do you want to be in, and also when do you want to be in that? Our last 2 sessions of the day, we kind of work on this. It's kind of a fun thing. We talk about it conceptually, and then we also get you on a bike here on the pits and work on it like that. So it's a twofold thing. It really works good. So that's the order of the sport. If you listen to Ken Hill's podcast, I think podcast 3, 4, and 6, and then 7, 9, and 10, all these order of the sports, and they're really important. I can't stress it enough. Whenever you guys are driving your car, pay attention to them. You will learn a lot from them. They're great. So, all right, let's go on to the first session here. If you guys look at your notes and follow along with me, you're going to probably wonder, Mark, I came to take a performance school, and the first thing you're talking about is panic and fear. Well, I want to deal with it because we're at a track. There's no real limits to the track other than what you impose on yourself, and so I want to give you good tools that you can deal with issues when we're out there. So imagine I drew a box like this, and I drew a box, and I call this lower box relaxed, okay? And I color it green usually when I draw this on a whiteboard, okay? Then I draw another box that's about a third that size, and I call it stress. And I stack it on top of here like this, stress, okay? And then I draw a really small box on top of that, and I call that panic. And I typically, as I said, I draw the relaxed box in green, the stress box in blue, and the panic box in red. Okay, then I take a black marker and I say, the first 3 points we talk about here, the 4 points, I'm talking about how do we ride and stay right here in the upper end of relaxed. I don't want to ride in the stress box. I don't want to ride down here in the relaxed box because that's no fun. If I'm falling asleep out there because I'm going so slow, that's boring. I want to ride where it's exciting and fun, but I want to freak myself out. So that's the first part of this talk, is how do I stay in the relaxed box? The last part of this talk is when something starts to go wrong and I start to shoot into stress, how do I make the U-turn so I can come back down and not shoot into panic? So if I go to panic, I either crash or I don't crash, and it's only by an act of God that I make it out. So we can't train you for God. That's not what this class is about. So I want to try and teach in the last half how to make that U-turn. So that's why I call this panic control and fear management, is how do we deal with stress, how do we deal with panic, how do we have some good tools in our toolbox so when something goes wrong, we can make the U-turn and come back down. So think of that box when we're talking about this, and I think it'll help understand this whole session here. First point is ride at 80%. Leave something in reserve. don't go out there and just, oh man, I'm at the track for the first time, I can just ride. You know, I love this, or I actually hate, but I realize the perception about us in the community or the public is that we're a bunch of people with their hair on fire and tongues hanging outside our mouth. Going, I think it's exactly the opposite. Because most of us, you guys all ride in the street, probably, right? Yep. Our body, life, limbs, well-being, livelihood, everything is on the line. We can't afford to ride with our hair on fire and tongue hanging outside our mouth. We got to be checked in. We have to pay attention to everything in life because I believe when we're on the road, everything's trying to kill us, right? So we better freaking be paying attention. So this is why when we're at the track, I want you guys, now that some of those stresses are gone, with as far as the soccer moms and the gravel, the dogs and the cats and the people we don't see across streets, that's removed from the track. There's still a risk. I want you right at 80%. Leave something in reserve. Just you'll learn more. So keep that one in mind. Point number 2 here is check yourself on the straights. This track doesn't have a lot of straights, but nonetheless, I want to check ourselves on the straights. And Mark, check myself out. What do you mean check yourself on the straights? I mean, take an inventory. How are you doing? That's what I'm talking about. If you look here, I want to nip a problem in the butt before it becomes an issue. Because imagine this box. If we're trying to ride the upper relax and all of a sudden we start having our hands go numb, we start slowly creeping up towards stress and we don't realize it. And now the distance to panic has just been shortened on this little diagram we had. So I want to nip issues in the butt so we can stay in this relaxed spot. So the first thing I talk about is if we're out there riding and our forearms get really tired, that's arm pump, or people call it death grip, or whatever you want to call it, white knuckling it. It's usually a grip issue. Forearm is almost always related. Well, that's a big one. Related to grip. So if you come on the front straight and you go, man, my forearms are terrible, think about grip. Okay? How hard should we grip a motorcycle? Imagine we're in the grocery store or the country store probably, and we go down into the poultry section of the country store and I give you a baby chicken in one hand and pull out a fresh egg in the other. And I say, okay, now hold on to these and I'm going to grab your shoulders and I'm going to shake the crap out of you. I'm going to shake you like nothing else. I don't want you to squish or kill the chicken. I don't want you to squish or kill the egg or squash the egg. Okay? How hard do you have to grab each one? Kind of firm, but then again, if you clamp down either one, the chicken's dead or the egg is squished. So if you let go, they both fall out of your hands, fall on the ground, they break a leg or break. So that's kind of how I want you to imagine grabbing the handlebars in the bar. You got to be firm, but you don't want to be white knuckling. So if you come on a straightaway and you're suffering from forearm, think, oh, I'm just gripping way too hard. Tart. Boy, there's a word for you guys. Hard. And then relax your grip a little bit. That will really help get rid of some of your forearm cramping, okay? I also wiggle my fingers when I go down the straightaway. That way I can get a little blood in my hands. I suffer from my hands going numb. That's something to think about. So, sometimes just doing this in the bar, every once in a while I'll take my left hand off and squeeze it. If I go through a left hand turn, I'll take my right hand off and get a couple pumps sometimes and re-put it back on. So there's ways to try and manage this.
Sometimes they'll grab your foot when you're going around turn 2 with your knee on the ground.
I don't do that very often. I never do that to a student.
Were you dangling it like Ross?
No, it was the outside foot. He was going faster than me on a smaller bike.
On your bike, I think. All right, the next thing that could possibly get out there and ride, and we come on the front straight, we do this inventory where we check ourselves and go, man, forearms are fine, but my shoulders are just killing me. What's going on? What I find is a lot of guys when they come to track, especially a track that's really physical like this one, they don't ride with their legs. They're trying to steer the whole bike with their arms, and their shoulders get tired. So what I want you to think about is that we're in this catcher stance all day long, and we go left, right, left, and I'm putting all kinds of force, and then we get in a straightaway. Now I'll sit in the seat and rest. Now here comes the corner, left, right, and we're working these pegs a lot. Okay? I analogize this to, okay, let's say you had a goal of swimming the English Channel, and I say, okay, JP, I want you to swim the English Channel, but I don't want you to kick with your legs. How tired would your arms be by the first 100 yards? Like, I'm dying. Same analogy here. If we're out there not using our legs, we're just doing this, right dead leg, we're not being as efficient as if we kick when we swim. Same thing. It's not that when you come off the track, your legs should feel fatigued, but when you come off, it's like, that wasn't so bad. My legs, I can feel some use. My arms, I feel some use. That's what I'm shooting for. So So if you get on the straightaway and you check yourself, and you're like, my forearms are fine, but man, my shoulders kill me, use your quads. Really weight those pegs and start transitioning weight side to side in the corners. That'll really help. Okay? Last thing is, we get in the straightaway. I don't know what else could be your issue. What is your issue? Are you thirsty? Does your back hurt? Are you having a spasm? I don't know. All I'm getting at is to make an adjustment so that it's not an issue anymore. Okay? Whatever you can do, make an adjustment so you can continue riding and manage what you're having so we don't keep creeping up in the stress box. And because it's a track day, know this. If you guys feel like, man, I'm coming through and I'm just tired, you don't have to come in the pits. You can just pull down the hot pits, turn your bike off, sit right there in the hot pits, count, wait a minute, take a breather, like, okay, I'm good to go, turn the key back on and go right out. That is perfectly fine. You know, so don't think you can't do that at a track day. That's absolutely acceptable to do that. Any comments you have on staying relaxed and checking yourself down in the straights?
The front straight and in the direction we're going, the in and out.
All right, so her question was the direction we're going today and the front straight. So here we are sitting in this lower paddock. Here is the front straight right there, okay? And we're going counterclockwise. So we're going to come out the hot pits and go down here, and we're going this direction all the way today. Does that make sense?
So the in and out are still going to always be the same place. It's
Nope.
just different directions.
Nope. Here's our hand. See my son sitting in the red hat there? That's how we're going to go in and turn right down the hot pits.
Okay.
That's how we're going on today. When we come off the track, we're going to go by the cones there, and we're going to come off of this exit right here.
What I'm saying is tomorrow it'll be the same spot, just the other side.
Other side, yes. Sorry about
Not
misunderstanding. No, we won't be going out anywhere else. It's all right here, but it's just tomorrow it's left and right reversed. So that's what she's talking about. This straightaway section here at this track is about the only chance you really have to check yourself. So, like Dave said, stay relaxed, but this is your one chance to fix any issues. This track is a busy physical track. That's why if you're 10 minutes into your session going, I don't really want to come in, but man, I need a breather, come off here, put your hand up, pull right down the hot pits, stop right here by that white stand. She'll probably say, what's going on? Say, I'm just taking a breather. Cool. Take a minute breather, go back out, finish your session. There's nothing wrong with that at all.
Different tracks have kind of different procedures at that spot. Is there kind of some kind of wave sign language? You wait for
No.
them and then you wave and you go.
My son right there is the gritter, and we'll have somebody else the other day. If he waves you on, you're free to go on the track. All right, so that's checking yourself on the straight. We clear on that? It's a good thing to do. Always self-assess. Keep an eye on it. I'm going to hit vision a lot. Here's vision I'm hitting right here. Look further down the track. I can tell you from a lot of people coming to the track for the first time, they're looking 10, 15 feet in front. If we're doing 70, 80 miles an hour out there, that's about 100 feet per second. That's a lot of time for something to happen, so we've got to be paying attention. Get your eyes looking further down the track and scan back. I can tell you that vision is so key. That's why Ken has number 2 in the track. You start getting your eyes down there, all of a sudden the track slows down, you're like, oh, I can see what's going on. But if I'm going to look at the barbecue, things happen too quick. So eyes is a very good thing. Point 3 should be point 4 here is breathe/exhale in the corners. I stole this from Jason Pridmore when I first got started, is exhaling in the corners. I can't tell you, most of us come into a corner, especially we come into turn 16 and come into turns 2 and 3 here today. It's very intense, like, we come in, and we're trying to get, you can just see I'm building this tension. Okay, I'm exaggerating, but that's the kind of stuff that happens when we're out there. We get this, I'm gonna make it work. We don't want to be like that. So try as best you can. Breathing is the concept, but truly what I have to focus on is exhaling. Because we all take that nice big breath in, then we typically hold it. Jason said he hits, that's why I hit. I hear it in my helmet, all of a sudden my tension's here, my tension just drops to here. Instantly by exhaling. So, in the corner, I try to exhale because I'll come in. Say that again? Okay. I'm anywhere. Once I get into a corner, I kind of get my breath in, get ready for it, and I just start hissing as I'm going through the whole corner.
So basically you are using the same technique as a gym.
Yeah, more or less. And what I'm doing, it's a kind of a tension release. I'm trying to release tension. I find that when I take the breath in and hold it, I hold my tension. But if I hiss or breathe out, hum, hiss, whatever you want to do, that all works to bring the tension down. And again, we're trying to keep ourselves in the upper end of that relaxed box and not creep into the stress box. This is another tool we use to help us stay down there so that we're in the relaxed box and stuff like that. So exhale the corners, that's a big one. It will really help you guys a lot. You'll find, especially looking at the track map, here we are here again. This whole turn 15 into 14 is a pretty fast section. Take your breath in here and you can get almost this whole way out. This turn 8, this kind of rises up here to turn 8 and drops back down. This is kind of one that builds a lot of tension, so I try and exhale here. Coming across the top of turn 6 is a really high hill, and it drops heavily downhill into turn 5. Woo. Talking about tension coming downhill, let that out. Okay, that'll really work good. Those are kind of the 4 tips we use to try and keep us in that upper end relax. We keep our things out of the stress box. Now if you look at point 4 down here, when things go wrong, that's when we're kind of pointed, something happens and now, okay, I'm going to try and get to this really quick so we can get you guys on track. When things go wrong, we're pointed at panic or stress and we want to avoid panic and stress. So how do we do this? The first thing we do is focus on a solution, and that solution is making the corner. If something happens on a front straight, it's usually no big deal. I got a quarter mile to fix it, no big deal. But if something happens in the apex 30 yards in front of us, all of a sudden our sphincter is right here. And I don't like that feeling. How about you guys? You guys are rough. Someone smile. It's JP smiling.
Well, I got a sphincter.
I know, it's not good up there. So force yourself, decide I'm going to make that corner. That's laying the foundation. The next thing right behind that gets back to vision and focus is you have to turn your eyes and look through the corner. Track, my trajectory is this way, the track goes this way. I'm scared, I'm going to look. I have to look. How many of you guys played a lot of like ball sports in the high school? Okay, I did. My coach always told me, where the eyes and head look, the body will follow. Right? This sport is no different. If I'm looking through the corner, high probability, I'm going to go that way. Not guaranteed, but it's a high probability. Okay, so we're trying to put things in our favor so that we can get back down from hitting the panic box. So force yourself to look in the direction that you want to go. That's what you got to do. You're scared to death, but if I'm looking at that tire wall, I'm going to hit the tire wall, I'm going to hit the tire wall, I'm going to hit the tire wall, what am I going to do? I'm going to hit the freaking tire wall. But if I look to the corner like, I'm going to make this corner, oh jeez, I hope I make this corner, we have a high probability we're going to make the corner. The next thing is point D. I kind of laugh when I wrote this down, but it's the truth. Relax as best you can and let the bike do the work. Mark, I'm having an oh shit moment and you're telling me to relax. Yeah. As best you can. It's tough. It's easy to say, well, we're sitting here under the tent out of the shade, but as best you can, relax. Because what you're doing, if you fight the bike, it's not going to respond. If you relax as best you can, and maybe it's wiggling, doing some things, if you keep looking and staying with it, you're letting the bike do the work, it can probably do it. How many times you guys watch racing, see a bike around a corner, get a head shake, spin the rider off, and the bike ghost rides? So where's the problem, the rider or the bike? Choose the rider. Okay. So let the bike do the work, relax with it as best you can. Another thing that goes along that line is trust your tires. Most of us have never pushed a tire to its limits. So keep leaning, keep trusting those tires. They've got tremendous grip. If your comfortable lean angle is here, I bet you can get to there. You may not want to, but I guarantee you want to make that corner rather than crashing your bike, so keep leaning it in. Last thing is, G, never quit riding the bike, never give up on a corner. You fight to stay on track, you fight to make that corner. Luckily, this track has a lot of runoff room, so that's always a contingency plan. We don't want to use it as plan A, it's plan C, okay? So if we're in there where they're like, I'm still not going to make this corner, and there's not a cement wall, we can run off, stand it up and run off. But never quit riding that bike. Even when you're in the dirt, that bike is your friend. Keep on it. Get out of the seat. Any questions on that? I know I had to cover that last part pretty quick, but that's how we hopefully, when we're shooting at panic, we make the U-turn. It starts with our eyes, look through the corner. All right, now we're going to go out on track. I want you guys to forget everything I just said. Okay? How many of you, this is your first time on the track?
On this track, yes.
2, 3.
On this track.
On this, so everyone's first time. So get with your instructor. We'll probably just do lead follow this first session. See what they want to do, how they want to do it, and let's just go out for 20 minutes, learn where this track goes, and come back in here afterwards. Go.
You have to do another more classes.
Oh, we're going to have one at 10 o'clock?